Every time I go to the Disney parks, I learn something new. Now, I live in Dallas, Texas. I don't live in Florida. I don't live in Anaheim. So I travel to the parks just like you do. And so I have to plan flights, hotels, figure out how I'm going to pack everything into my trip when I only have a few days to be there. So whenever I go to Disney World, I learn new stuff and I find myself in situations that I don't want you to be in. So that's what these videos are about, is my stumbling blocks, my issues that I run into in Disney World, and helping you figure out how to not run into those same issues when you're next there. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Disney World tips and tricks change just as constantly as the parks do. So in today's video, we're going to cover 10 different tips that I stumbled across very, very recently on my recent trip to Disney World when I stayed at the Galactic Star Cruiser and hung out for an extra couple days after that. These are all things I've officially deemed super vital to how I'll navigate Disney World from here on out. So enjoy my conglomeration of happy accidents and horrible accidents and cautionary tales that will definitely help map out your future trips, I hope, as well. Let's do this. Okay, online check-in, it's not flawless. Heads up, people, I learned a lot about Disney hotel rooms this past week, so get ready for some Disney World hotel tea to be spilled. I stayed at a bunch of hotels on this recent trip. I stayed in Grand Floridian for one night, then I went to the Galactic Star Cruiser for 2 nights, then I went to the Contemporary for 1 night, then I moved over to Coronado, and this was all in the span of about 5 days. Why? Because my flights were canceled, because there was ice in Dallas, and there were no hotels available because it was the Princess Half Marathon weekend, and I just had to take what I could get. So because I basically had to check into a different hotel almost every day, I had a lot of online check-in experiences. And regardless of what Disney tells you, that's not always how it goes. So I like the online check-in procedure. That allows you to completely bypass having to check in at the front desk. You can do it all on your phone on the My Disney Experience app. And while you're completing the online check-in, you can let the hotel know your ETA. So you can let them know when you're going to arrive. Like if you're going to arrive at 10 a.m., you can say, I'm going to arrive at 10 a.m. And you can also check a little box that says it's more important for my room to be ready when I get there than to have all of my requests met, my room requests met. You can also let them know if you're interested in housekeeping services and any specific room requests. So once you're all checked in, My Disney Experience is going to send you a text message with your room number once your room is ready. Once you receive that, you can just go use your Magic Band or Magic Mobile to enter the room. You can do online check-in anytime before your vacation, as long as you're at least 60 days away from your arrival window. And when I was checking into my hotel, I did online check-in the day before, and I said I was going to be there at 4 p.m. Some hotels have 3 p.m., but usually your room's supposed to be ready by 4 p.m. So by the time I was pulling up to the hotel, it was 5 o'clock, and I hadn't gotten a little text message yet from the hotel giving me my room number. So by 5 p.m. when you don't have a room number yet, it's a little weird and you should have your room available. And I was in a situation where I had to get to a meeting, so I had to get into my room and take off my kind of gross traveling clothes and change my clothes and stuff. So since I didn't have the text message, I thought to myself, well, why don't I just go into the My Disney Experience app and check on my resort hotel? There's a little online check-in section there. And then you can click on a little part that says room number. And when I did that, I realized my room number had already been assigned. I just didn't have the text message saying it was assigned. So I had the room number, I went to my room, and I didn't actually end up getting a text message until 7:30 that night saying that my room was ready. So that's a little weird, and imagine if I had just had to bum around waiting for that text message. I wouldn't have gotten into my room, I wouldn't have gotten prepped for my meeting, and so the system basically broke down there. I had to go into My Disney Experience and click on the button that said room number to actually see my room. I never got the text message. So if you're worried it's taken a little bit too long for you to get that welcome home text, double check your app, make sure it wasn't quietly assigned to you while you remained totally unaware. If you do online check-in before arrival, keep in mind that Disney usually won't have rooms ready until after 3 p.m. and sometimes even later. So if you haven't received any text notifications about your room being ready and it's after 4 p.m., definitely tap into your My Disney Experience app, click that button, make sure your room hasn't already been assigned and you're just not getting the text message. If you don't see anything, you can always call the front desk at your hotel and see if there's a room available. Okay, another hotel reservation one for you. I don't know if you've noticed, but it is really hard to book a Disney World hotel right now. And if you've been trying and not succeeding, and it's just been really difficult to find anything available, you are not alone. That's what I'm finding all the time, even when I'm booking for several months out. So why is that happening? Well, I think it's safe to say that lots of people's vacations came to a screeching halt in 2020, and those postponed and canceled trips followed us into 2021. But now that the Disney World parks are returning to a sense of normalcy in 2022, the intense waves of crowds are anything but normal. It is unbelievable what we've seen in January and February and March so far. The crowds are just off the charts. And with those crowds have come booked up dining, park passes, specialty experiences, and definitely booked up hotel rooms. My experiences trying to book hotels in Disney World, even up to 2 months or 3 months out, have been very trying. Nothing is available. And when I say that, I'm sometimes being dramatic, like there are a couple of sad toys left on the shelf, but sometimes there's literally nothing. And that's what I'm running into more and more often. And for those of you who are Disney Vacation Club members, I know that right now it is super difficult for non-DVC members to book spacious villas, tree houses, or studios for upcoming trips because a lot of the DVC members have booked those up at this point, making up for those 2020 canceled vacations. So if you're booking a trip and you can't find the hotel you want, try narrowing down the scope of your search. Sometimes availability will open up for certain rooms when you're trying to book a 2 to 3 night stay instead of a full week, and vice versa. If you want a couple of nights, sometimes, oddly, the hotel you want will be available for a week, but not a couple of nights. I don't know what's up with that, Disney, but that's what I'm finding too. So it's kind of like advanced dining reservations for restaurants. If you're not finding a reservation for your party of 8, you might have more success finding a reservation for 2 groups of 4 instead. So you just gotta, as Molly says at all ears, fiddle-faddle a little bit. So if you find several 2-night stays consecutively, you can call Disney and get them linked together so that you'll be able to stay in the same room for all of those nights. It's a hassle, but it's better than nothing if there's a specific hotel you really want. Now, once you have something booked, you can always keep choosing the Change Reservation button on your My Plans section of the My Disney Experience website. And you can check to see what else is available for those dates. I've had luck doing that as well. Sometimes I have more luck trying to change an existing reservation than I do trying to get a new reservation, which I think is interesting as well. And then at least you've got something booked, because it's not unheard of for there to just be absolutely no rooms available, especially right now. Now, it's also not a bad idea to search Disney's Good Neighbor hotels, see what rooms are available at those select locations. You might find more availability at the non-Disney hotels while still sticking close to property. As always, I'll recommend Swan and Dolphin. Those are Marriott hotels, and they may have more availability for you. They're considered deluxe resorts by Disney. They're within walking distance to 2 parks, and you get those extended hours at night with those as well. Okay, speaking of Good Neighbor hotels, not all Good Neighbor hotels are providing their full list of Disney World benefits. So in past videos, we've talked about Disney Good Neighbor hotels being a great alternative to those Disney-owned hotels. I still stand by that. They can be cheaper, keep you near Disney property, sometimes on Disney property, and continue providing you with a lot of the same benefits that Disney-owned hotels do. But here's the thing. You've still got to do your research for those hotels ahead of time, because sometimes they don't provide the full range of benefits that Disney hotels do. For starters, not every Good Neighbor hotel will provide free transportation around the Disney resort. Instead, some hotels will offer a shuttle service you can reserve a pickup time for. This shuttle will then take you where you need to go for an extra cost, similar pricing to like an Uber or a Lyft. Also, not all Good Neighbor hotels offer early theme park entry. That's right, early theme park entry is a benefit available for all Disney World hotel guests and provides them with access to any park on any day 30 minutes before the park's official opening time, as long as they have a park pass reservation. But as it turns out, only a select number of Good Neighbor hotels offer that same benefit. According to the Disney website, these are the only Good Neighbor hotels that currently offer early theme park entry: Signia by Hilton Orlando Bonnet Creek, Waldorf Astoria Orlando, B Resort and Spa, Lake Buena Vista, Doubletree Suites by Hilton Orlando, Hilton Orlando Buena Vista Palace, Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista, Holiday Inn Orlando, Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista, Wyndham Lake Buena Vista, and Four Seasons Resort Orlando. Swan and Dolphin and the Swan Reserve also have the early entry benefit, as well as extended evening evening hours, which will allow guests to stay in select parks on select evenings, like I just said in the last point. Now, I know it seems like a lot of the Good Neighbor hotels have this benefit, but when compared to the other potential 43 Good Neighbor hotels that you can choose from, the 10 I just listed sound like outliers. So make sure you double check on your Good Neighbor hotel before making your purchase and see what benefits will be included in your stay. Not all of those Good Neighbors have free transportation, that early entry benefit, etc. Okay, this next one is my new favorite tip because I love food and I love late nights. I am a night owl for sure. So my next tip that I just learned, old dogs can learn new tricks, is skip the end of day crowds by snacking after the park closes. Now, we've talked about it before, we'll talk about it again. Those end of the night crowds, especially at Magic Kingdom, are a nightmare. I can't sugarcoat it. Every time I'm in the thick of that exiting crowd that forms after Disney Enchantment has shot off its final firework, I remind myself that I gotta just keep swimming, right? Because it gets wild in there. Now, in the past, I've recommended hanging tight and browsing the Main Street USA shops so you can wait for those initial crowds to die down, or you can go get in line for a ride right at closing time so that you can ride that ride and then leave without so many crowds. But as it turns out, there are also a few other places on Main Street USA that stay open too, and those places have mobile ordering for food. Okay, you can make a mobile order reservation to pick something up at Main Street Confectionery after the park closes. Yes, you can, because Main Street Confectionery stays open until an hour after the park closes. So let's say the park closes at 9. You make a mobile order around 8:30 to pick up your food at 9:55. Then you hang out in the park for an extra hour, wander around, shop, etc., and grab your food 5 minutes before you leave so you can eat it on the way home. Or probably better, make that mobile order to pick it up at 9:30, and then you can just sort of sit and people watch as the crowds empty the park, and you can eat your peanut butter cookie pie. Now, you can also do this at the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor or at Casey's Corner. They stay open for mobile orders a little bit past park closing as well. So instead of scrambling back to the buses or ferry or monorail, kick back for a bit, wait out the crowd, and enjoy something tasty. Consider it your last hurrah for the day. And that way you can use the time that the park is actually open to ride all the rides you want to ride, mobile order something for pickup after the park closes, and then you can go eat after the park closes. No ride time wasted. Now, the next one is about mobile ordering as well. And this one is very similar to my issue with checking into the hotels. You may have to track down your mobile orders if they get lost. So the last time I mobile ordered from Caramel Kucha in Epcot, and believe me, I try not to say those words very much on these videos because I know I say it wrong, so I apologize. But that's where I was mobile ordering from. I was getting one of the gingerbread salted caramel cookies, and I found myself fighting with the mobile order system and actually having to ask somebody in the store where to find my mobile order on my phone. So here's what happened. When you mobile order a meal, that mobile order should show up on the main menu of your My Disney Experience app. Like when you open the My Disney Experience app, there should be a little thing there showing your mobile order, the thing that's coming up next. But I noticed this time around that mine was just gone and I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out where it was. But as it turns out, I could still find my order by tapping on the hamburger menu in the right-hand corner of the screen, then pressing the mobile food orders button. And yes, I had to ask another guest how to find that. It just felt wrong that I run the Disney food blog and I couldn't find my mobile order. It felt really wrong and I apologize to the universe for that. But at least I found it. And so now I can help you because I think this happens all the time. That you open the app, you go to click on your mobile order because you know it's coming up and you just can't find it. It's gone. It's not in your main menu anymore. So just head over to that hamburger menu, open it up, click on the mobile orders, and there it is. So again, I make mistakes so you don't have to. Okay, now this next one is sort of a question of common sense, but I think a lot of us don't even think about it. And that is, don't order a pizza for your hotel room if you don't plan to finish it. So let me explain. Let's say just you and your buddy on this Disney World trip and you're wanting a quick bite after a long day in the park. Most quick service locations at your hotel will have the option to order a large pizza for around $17 to $19. But if you decide to order a box and split it with your friend and you both only intend on eating 1 or 2 slices, then you're most definitely going to have some pizza left over. Even if you have 3 slices. I know some of you are like, AJ, 1 or 2 slices, come on. So most resort hotel rooms only have that mini fridge and it's not going to fit that giant cardboard box slice of pizza. And unless you packed freezer bags in your suitcase, like I do, I mean, you should, I always tell you to, but maybe you didn't, then setting your pizza directly into the mini fridge isn't going to make it taste fantastic when you're chomping down on the leftovers the next night. And if you're not a cold pizza fan, the leftover odds are definitely not in your favor, since most rooms, specifically all standard value resort rooms, don't have a microwave at your disposal. Although I guess you could go to the food court and use the microwave, maybe. So even though you think you're saving money by splitting a pizza, you might wind up wasting a lot of food instead. Disney Resort food courts have a ton of quick options to choose from, and any of those options can be mobile ordered to take back to your room. There's even a super slice of pizza available at a lot of quick service locations. It's basically 2 slices of pizza in one for around $9, depending on if you're team cheese or team pepperoni. Or maybe you can order 2 smaller pizzas that might fit into your fridge. But ordering an entire pizza is still a solid option if you're really hungry and do plan on eating the whole thing, or you're wanting to feed more than 1 to 2 people in your group for a cheaper price than you would anywhere else. But this is just something we stumbled on, and I wanted to let you know about it. Okay, next on our list, the golden statues have QR codes? Yeah, the golden character statues that popped up around the 4 Disney World parks for the 50th anniversary celebration are charming and fun to pose with. Also, do you think anyone would notice if I took that little golden broonie home with me? I don't think they would. But at Epcot, these statues don't stay quiet. They want to tell you all about how they came to be. Each of the 5 golden character statues featured in Epcot have a little round sign next to them with a QR code. If you scan them with your phone's camera, you should be able to pull up a short video of how Disney artists designed these statues and got them ready for their big debut. If you want to watch the videos in order, start with Figments, then move on to Pua and Hey Hey. Next comes Olaf and Bruni. Say an extra hello to Bruni because he wants to come home with me. And then Miguel and Dante. And finally, you'll wrap things up with Rocket and Groot. Okay, next on our list, your souvenir funds can actually go to a good cause. Yeah, owning cool things is nice, but wouldn't it be great if you could shake that bubbling and brewing buyer's regret after your Disney World purchases? What if I told you a portion of your souvenir money could go to a greater cause? Would the buyer's regret disappear? Maybe not entirely, but a little bit. In select cases, Disney's going to use a portion of your merchandise money toward charities and organizations, and there's a few places in Disney World where you can do this. For over 40 years, Disney's been partnered with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, as you know, and according to their website, it helps fulfill the wishes of children with a critical illness between the ages of 2.5 and 18 years old. When Disney and Make-A-Wish collaborate on merchandise, a percentage of the sales will go toward funding those wishes. And during their last Wishes Come True Blue Color collection, Disney was able to donate $500,000 from its sales to the foundation. So keep an eye out for Disney and Make-A-Wish collaborations, and you can help support Make-A-Wish with your mini ear purchase, your Spirit jersey purchase, or whatever. Also, and I know a lot of you know this, but I'm throwing it out there for new folks, at many of the gift shops at Disney's Animal Kingdom, you can donate directly to Disney's Conservation Fund, which helps save wildlife, not just on Disney property, but throughout 120 different countries. Sometimes the gift shops will also feature special items like conversation plushes that direct your money to a more specific recovery cause for a specific species, like the Lion Recovery Fund they collected in 2019. We've got an entire post on our website covering the different ways your purchases can go towards some awesome organizations. I'll link it down in the description below for you. If you're looking for jewelry that gives back, head to Disney Springs. The Kendra Scott store features everything from rings to earrings to bracelets and even customizable pieces. And a percentage of all purchases will be donated to Inheritance of Hope. This is a nonprofit organization that helps families with parents who have terminal diagnoses. Okay, this next one is kind of specific, but it's going to help some of y'all, and that's to eat before watching Cirque du Soleil. Disney Springs isn't just a shopping district, you know, and if you're looking for something different to do on Disney World property one evening, you may want to consider the new Cirque du Soleil show over there. It's called Drawn to Life. It's an acrobatic show that tells the story of a late animator's daughter who's trying to track down her artistic muse once again. Cirque du Soleil's Drawn to Life normally happens twice a night, once at 5:30 and once at 8, so like right in the middle of supper time. But here's the thing, food and snacks are not available right now, and we're not really sure when they'll be back at the Cirque du Soleil Theater. You can order like ices and sodas, but make sure you eat something beforehand. Otherwise, you might wind up hangry during this heart-wrenching choreography and just really hoping that they're done with like the trapeze already because you're hungry. And my last tip from last week is a major reminder for you, and that is that the Gasparilla Island Grill mac and cheese at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort is the best mac and cheese on property. Someday when I'm old and gray, I will set my grandchildren upon my knee and look them straight in the eye and say, if you've learned nothing else from me over the years, remember this. Gasparilla Island Grill's mac and cheese will forever be one of the best mac and cheeses Disney World has to offer. Now, I know it's a bold statement, right? But it is true. I went back to this quick service location at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa during my past trip, and I ordered the house-made mac and cheese again, and it is still incredible. I actually got it like 3 times. I'm not going to lie. It is creamy. It's thick. There's a lot of cheesy goodness going on there. There's classic elbow macaroni. It is the ultimate comfort food. It is so incredible. Now, a few other favorite mac and cheeses of mine are the baked macaroni and cheese with pulled pork at 8 Spoon Cafe. You guys know that. Lobster and shrimp mac and cheese at the Mac and Cheese Food Truck in Disney Springs. That's a good one. House-made mac and cheese at Tusker House. That's a good one, especially combined with corn dog nuggets. And the loaded macaroni and cheese at Steakhouse 71 Lounge in Disney's Contemporary Resort. That's excellent. Of course, you got the mac over at Homecoming too. There's a lot of good macs and cheeses, but I'm not going to lie to you, Gasparilla Island Grill, if I had to choose one, that would probably be the one I chose. Oh, Ohana has a good one too, but that's just on the kids menu. All right, so isn't it bizarre to think that the next time I go to Disney World, I'll have a dozen extra tips to add onto this list? Well, it's true. That happens to me every time I go. That's why it's best to keep checking back in with us to keep in the loop on all the latest Disney World news and updates and how many screw-ups I, AJ, can accomplish for you on your behalf so that you don't have to do them. So stick with us, subscribe to the channel. I promise I'll make a bunch of mistakes next time too. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.